Alright Ruger, we got a problem. So this is Josh with 243 Outdoors, and this is the other Ruger American Predator 6.5 Creedmoor. So after getting the scope all mounted up and zeroing it the other day, I realized that this rail is 20 MOA pointed to the right. Basically the holes are not true on the receiver and it ain't right. The scope adjustment is all the way to the right. It was shooting about 20 inches left at 100 yards, and after figuring out on the scope where center is, that's about exactly where it is. So instead of sending this back to Ruger, which we've been in contact with Ruger, and we decided just to keep it and to go ahead and put the set of these Burris XTR signature rings. These are the same rings that I have on my rifle. Instead of adjusting it up and down for like a 20 MOA adjustment, we're going to go side to side with these. I can also add about 10 minutes in the rear, and I may even turn it about a 45-degree angle with the 20 going this way, and we'll get a little bit more adjustment. The rings that we had on before were a little high, and these are mediums. You cannot find these in low. It seems like they're always back ordered, or I don't even know if they exist, but the medium seems to be all you can find, but that'll work great with this rifle. So this rifle will shoot. It's got about 65-70 rounds through it now. I was shooting at 650 yards the other day. I didn't have a camera or nothing, but I took a picture of the group, and it shot a 3-shot group. It was a 4-shot group, but 3 of them were about under 2 inches, and the 4-shot was around the 4-inch mark for all 4 shots at 650. So that was using my hand loads, my good hand loads. This gun seems to like that load. So what we're going to do today is get these rings and the scope mounted back on. I got my little homemade leveling device set on here, something I picked up at a hardware store. Works pretty good. So let's get started. So I'm not going to go into all the detail on mounting this set of rings. I have a video which I'll put a little card at the top corner here and a link at the end of the description. The Evolution Gunworks 20 MOA base install will kind of go over the base and the scope install, and then I did a separate video about these signature rings explaining how they work. So check out those videos. They'll kind of explain what we're doing in a little more detail. So let's get going. So these rings are self-aligning, no lapping required, and try to keep them as far apart on your rail as possible. This will be about a 4-inch ring spacing, and that's usually about what they recommend. As you're snugging it down, make sure you're pushing forward on it so recoil does not affect it, and torque it down. The torque setting on these say 40 to 70 inch-pounds, so I'm going to be torquing them about 50 today. And they are mounted. Alright, I got the 20 MOA inserts. This is a 20 MOA insert and this is the minus 20. They will be used in a pair together. This one's thicker and that one is thinner. So we are wanting to move our scope to the left. So we will be inserting this one on this side and the thin one here. Typically on these rifles you'll install them like this, but in our case we're going to be angling them. So the joint's going to be up more towards the top, and that will scoot our scope over. We're going to leave the rear in a normal position. I think I'm just going to add a 5 MOA raise on the back. So that's the zeros. So this is the 5 here, so we'll put the thick 5 on the bottom, and that will raise the back of the scope up, and that'll be giving us a little bit more adjustment. And we'll put that one here, and then I'm going to get this front one orientated how I want it, and I think we'll be good. Alright, we're all finished up here. I have added the 20 minutes to this side to push the scope over this way, and I've also raised the back of the scope up 10 minutes to gain us additional 10 minutes. these rings fit a lot better. The scope gap in the barrel is where it needs to be. It could probably be a little better, but we won't. That'll be just fine. So I'm gonna put the gun back together, and it's not gonna be today, but I'll take it out and get it re-zeroed, and we will get back to shooting this gun and seeing what we can do with it. Probably be stretching it out quite a bit and continue and see what kind of groups we can get with it. Alright guys, it's the next day. It's Friday morning. I'm gonna see if I can get this rifle zeroed. I ended up getting it all together yesterday and I didn't like where it was, so I actually changed the front piece a little bit. I rotated it. It was a little bit too far, and that centered it up good, and then it also dropped the front down to get us a little more adjustment. I have took the bolt out and looked down the bore and did a kind of a preliminary bore sight, and I feel that I got it pretty close. Double check here. Yeah, that looks very good to me, so we ought to be on paper anyway. So we're going to send a few shots here at 100 yards and see how close we are. I don't have my rear bag with me today. I got kind of a little homemade one, but it'll work. This should be it. Called a 4-shot zero. So we got our rifle zeroed. That's probably all I'm going to do with it today. It's about 29 degrees today. It's kind of cold, so I'll get these turrets reset back to zero, and I think this gun's back in action. So that's going to wrap up this short little video. Just want to kind of give you an update what's going on with it. I think we've got everything fixed on it, so it'll be ready to stretch out here again shortly. So.